Cool. Right. Super Mario Brothers review. I went to the movies with my kids, a boy and a girl. My girl is 12, my boy is 9. They both have played, we have a Switch in the house. They both played Super Mario 3D World, Super Mario Kart, Super Mario Odyssey. So all the relatively new games, not the old games. Went to the theater. I had almost no expectations of this movie. I went to this as I'm gonna watch a kids movie with my kids, and went in, and what I got was a wonderful, simple tale of a hero's journey with a splatter of a mask of Super Mario Brothers with the new models. So the models you see in the games, the models you'll see in the theaters. I saw a very simple tale of a hero getting into trouble, stumbling into this faraway land where he volunteers to be the hero. He has a hero's journey. He has stumbles along the way, and he also has some victories along the way. I particularly enjoyed the fact that in every little corner you had these Easter eggs. Some of them are for adults, some of them are for the kids, but it was mostly centered around the kids who grew up playing these games around, when they came out, and the kids that I've now just started to touch the Switch and play with those games. The one take I got from my daughter, very, very important, is she said, well, I've seen this story play out again, because I specifically said, did you like it? She said, yes. What did you like about it? What did you like about the story? What did you like about the characters? Now she's 12. She's a little bit more communicative than your average kid. So what I got from her is, yes, the story is fine, but I kind of saw the same story in Mario Odyssey where, Bowser tried to marry Peach, but it was more like forceful rather than him falling in love with her in Odyssey. Because I didn't play Odyssey, I was like, oh, that's very interesting. So it is like Odyssey, but it's not. You said, yes, it's kind of. What I was surprised is my boy, he didn't quite fall in love with this thing. He liked it. He said he would watch it again, but he didn't quite like the theater feel for it. That's what I got from him. He couldn't quite explain it to me or articulate in words what he was actually going through. I had to kind of squeeze it out of him. But overall, he liked it. Every time there was a scene or a place that he recognized, sort of like the Donkey Kong Kingdom, or the Rainbow Road in Mario Kart. He was like, oh, that's from this. Oh, that's from that. Oh, Daddy, that's from Mario 3D World. All of that was in there. So everything was recognizable and everything was geared towards kids. Very, very much like that. So if you go into this movie as an adult and you have very little affinity to Mario Brothers or a video game in the general, you might not quite like this movie. However, if you go in as a sort of a gamer's set of mind and you're like, okay, this is a game I've played in the past, or this is a game that I know of, let me watch this movie, you will get the full breadth of what this movie is trying to give you, which is a fun, simple story, very recognizable story of a man going through a thing, a connection between brothers, which you hardly see these days, a connection between the sons and the father, kind of a way of doing that. And of course, your typical villain that is on the cusp of winning and then completely buggering out and just not succeeding, which is great because this is what we want out of films. We want escapism. As soon as I sat down and the movie actually started, after all the trailers, after all the commercials, as soon as the movie started and up until the end, I was in the movie. I wasn't super excited about it, but I was in the movie, and for 90 or 92 minutes, I was transported into this world of Nintendo, and there was nothing on the sides. There's no politics, there's no gender identity, there's no race relations, there's no nothing. The only thing you kind of had touching about race is the fact that they're Italians. That's about it. But we all know they're Italians. There's also an explanation in this movie, especially because all the uproar about it's Chris Pratt, and Chris Pratt doesn't sound like Mario from the games, and they're talking about them sounding like the games. Well, at the start, at the very beginning, they set this up as, yeah, aren't we doing over the top Italian accent? And Luigi says it. I think Luigi says it. Well, don't worry. It's just to grab attention. It's just to, get people to recognize what we're doing here. To get more into the story, the training montage. One of the things that kind of irked me in the training montage, and I think it is there to satisfy the current Hollywood kind of moviegoer, or maybe the US culture, is the fact that Princess Peach was the ruler of the kingdom, which isn't, it's in the story. It's written down in the story, so it's not a real big thing. However, she in the training montage, Mario kept dying over and over and over and over again until he succeeded. And when he said, how did you do with this? Did you, take a lot of time? And she said, well, I did it the first time around, which is, again, the girl power nod, but it was so minute. It was so nonchalant. It was there and it was gone. So it didn't really disturb me. For those of you who are sensitive to all these things, please, it's at the end of the day, the people who won, the people who saved the day, saved both kingdoms, both Brooklyn and Mushroom Kingdom, are the Mario brothers. Without any interference by Peach. She was quite passive. Even though she had her moment at the end, she really wasn't the one that actually saved the day, which is great because you want your heroes to save the day, not your side characters. And that's very, very important, at least to me. If you're telling the Peach story, go ahead. Let her have her big moment. Let her save the kingdom. But if you're doing a Mario Brothers movie, let them do the deed and win at the end. Do the big finale. You have to give this movie credit because it stuck to, and credit to Illumination as well, it stuck to the 90-minute rule. 90 minutes going towards kids is absolutely perfect. And it is so good in terms of marketing, because in terms of showings, you can show more of these movies inside the theater. So it works well for the theaters to have more and more showings of this particular movie per day, maximizing their revenue, and they would absolutely adore this. Will it do $1 billion? Absolutely. Abso-freaking-lutely it will do $1 billion.